guys, I'm back. Now we're gonna talking about the difference. Like I did earlier, I do some video tests for my two cameras. These two guys. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, I've done the video test, my Sony A6000 and my Canon Eos. Where's the M3? M3. Yeah, guys, these two camera got loads of differences, like bad things and good things. The A6000 and the Canon Eos M3, they are both mirrorless camera. They both detachable lens. Both of them, you can detach the lens and put it back again. They both detachable lens. They both ACPS sensor. The monitor or the screen at the back, they both 3-inch. The bad things, the Sony is not a touch screen, while the Canon EOS M3 is a touch screen. So the Canon win because there is a touch screen. You can touch the screen to get your focus things, and they are both 12 megapixel. No, not 12. They are both 24 megapixel. The Sony A6000 is 24.3 megapixel. The Canon EOS M3 is a 24.2 megapixel. So not much big difference. The ISO. Let's talk about the ISO. The Sony 6000. The ISO is a range about 100 to 25,600. That's the highest ISO of the Sony A6000, from 100 to 25,600. While the Canon EOS M3, the ISO is from 100 up to 12,800 ISO. That's the highest for the Canon EOS M3. So the ISO competition, the winner is the Sony A6000. Let's move on to the auto ISO. They are both auto ISO, so you can set them, like if you're doing video, you can set them both in the auto ISO. So whatever environment or lights you've got, they automatically adjust what ISO fits in the camera. And they are both Wi-Fi connection. The Sony 6000 is here, and Canon is on this side, but we can't see it because here on this side, the Canon M3. They both USB connector. The Sony 6000 is on this side. There. I can't see it. And M3 is here. And both HDMI connection as well. So both these two guys you can connect in your big screen monitor, so you can watch your video, photo whatever. Let's move on to the focus point. The focus point. The Sony A6000 is 179 focus point, guys. Can you imagine that? 179 focus point, which is the Canon Eos M3 is about 49. Sad, isn't it? So the winner is the Sony A6000 because of the 179 focus point. So you can use this Sony A6000. It's good for like sports, moving object, traveling object, moving object. I think that's a big difference. Yeah, the winner of the focus point is the Sony A6000. Let's move on to the autofocus system. The Sony A6000 is a fastest hybrid autofocus system. All mirrorless camera out now, whatever Canon, Nikon, Sony, Fuji, whatever. The Sony A6000, the fastest autofocus, because it's hybrid fastest autofocus, which is Canon M3 is a hybrid COMS or hybrid CMOS autofocus 3. I don't know what it's a 3, but hybrid CMOS autofocus, which is the winner is the Sony A6000 again. Let's move on to the Viewfinder. Sony A6000 has a viewfinder here. They call them OLED True Finder. Let's have a look, guys. You can turn it on that Sony. You can see that, guys. There is a viewfinder here. You can see what are you taking a picture through viewfinder, and it's electronic viewfinder, something like that. Whatever. When you put your eyes in here, the screens come off because you're using the viewfinder, electronic viewfinder. I think that's what they call, which is the Canon M3. Sad again, there's no viewfinder, but the Canon produced separate viewfinder for this Canon, which is you can purchase separate, but I'm not suggest or what is it called? I'm not gonna say to the people that buy at £200 just for a viewfinder for the Canon M3. I'm not recommended because it's a lot of money. You know, just only the viewfinder. Instead of buy a viewfinder, you can buy a glass like 50mm 1.4, you know, lens, or whatever lens do you want to put in your M3, because like I said, this is detachable lenses, and you can change the lens whatever size lens do you want to put in here, because they are compact, you know, system camera. So the winner is the Sony A6000 again, because of the viewfinder. I'm not recommended to you people to buy a viewfinder for the Canon EOS M3. It's not really advisable, especially if you're doing video blogging. You don't need a viewfinder. Just rely on the screen, and it's good because it's a touch screen. It's a very nice screen for the Canon EOS M3 touch screen. So the screen, the winner is the Canon, but the viewfinder, the winner is the Sony 6000. Let's move on to the flash. Both of them they are a built-in flash. You see guys, and they are both of them tiltable, so you can look up to the ceiling, bounce the bounce, bounce the bounce, bounce the flash. Both of them, so they are both winner for the plus. So yeah, but if you're doing video, like I said, you don't need flash really, because some people doing vlogging, they got their own lights, like what I've got today. I've got DIY LED ring light, and they are both camera. They can shoot video 1080 60 frame per second or 1080 30 frame per second HD. So there's no argument with that. They are both good in HD, 1080 60 frame, 1080 or 30 frame per second. So they equal, and both of them, Sony 6000 and Canon M3, they both hot shoe. This is the Sony. They got their own hot shoe, hot shoe, and I removed the cover, both of them. So no argument about the hot shoes, because it's really handy guys if your camera got a hot shoe, because you can put your lights or flash, external flash, the big one, and you can put lights like small LED lights, both of them, and you can put your mic, external mic, what kind of mic do you got, like what I've got here. I've got a Rode micro mic external, which is I'm using on my Canon Eos M3. Let's talk about frame per second. Here we go guys. I don't know how to test the continuous shot, but according to my search, Sony 6000 can shoot 11 frames per second. Did you believe that guys? 11 frames per second, while the Canon M3 can shoot 4.2 frames per second. So the winner is Sony again. Can you imagine that guys? Sony is the best, but most of the people, most of the bloggers, they use Canon. I don't know, let's move on. There you go, another topic guys. Let's talk about mic. Is it output, input? Mic output. The downside of the Sony A6000, there is no mic output or input, whatever. Sony A6000, there is no mic output. Sony company, they produce a mic for the Sony 6000 only, because of the hot shoes. Because of the Sony hot shoe, there is a connecting things in there. So when you buy a separate mic, you don't need any wires going to your jack in or plug in, because the connected is in the hot shoes if you buy a separate mic for the Sony 6000. While the Canon, this is the good things for the Canon, because there is a mic output. That's why I've got my Rode micro external mic, and I'm using it for my Canon EOS M3. So talking about mic output, the winner is the Canon. Way. And move on. Let's talk about the screen. Like I said earlier, the Canon EOS M3 is a touch screen, which is good. The Sony is not touchscreen, and they are all tiltable. The Canon Eos M3, you can tilt the screen up to 180 degree. Hey, there you go. While the Sony A6000 is still tiltable the screen, but halfway through. Canon is 180, Sony is 90. So there you go, guys. Canon is the good for vlogging. That's why most of the people using Canon for vlogging, because of the screen. You can do selfie, you can do video. So while you're doing a video, you can see yourself, which is the Sony A6000. It's a bit, I don't know, but still tiltable, but it's a 90 degree. So talking about the screen, the winner is the Canon Eos M3. And let's move on the lens. When you buy a Sony 6000 with a kit lens, which is 16 to 50 millimeter, and then it's a OSS. I think it's a, I forgot the meaning of OSS. Opti blah 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 system. Stable system, something like that, which is good. But there is no stabilization in the body, I think. I don't know, I'm not sure, guys. And if you buy a Canon EOS M3 with a kit lens, which is 15 to 45 mm, stabilization system STM. So both kit lens, there is stabilization, but not in the body, I think. I'm not sure, guys. So we don't have any argument for the kit lens because they are both good. They are both a little bit wide because it's 15 to 45, and the Sony is 16 to 50. So they're both the same. There's no make difference. So the Sony A6000 is a Sony E mount. They call it E mount, so you can attach any kind of E mount lens. And one more thing, you can attach any kinds of different lenses, like Canon lens, Nikon lens, Panasonic, whatever lens. But you have to buy adapter for this camera. Buy an adapter, the E mount, go to Canon mount and Nikon mount, something like that. So the Canon M3 is M mount. They call it M series. Like the Sony, you can attach any kind of different lenses as well. You can attach Nikon lenses to Canon body, or Panasonic lens to Canon EOS M3 body. Like I said, you have to buy a separate adapter for these two guys in here that we can fit to the lenses that you want to fit in here. So no problem with that, guys. Both of them, they can attach any kinds of different lenses. It's depend on the body, and it's depend on the adapter that you got. So let's move on. Yeah, like I said, both of them, they are changeable lens. You can attach any different kind of lenses, but you have to buy a separate adapter. Let's talk about the price. I bought my Canon EOS M3 a month ago, and it's cost me about 450 pounds with a kit lens. So not bad for the camera like this with a 180 tiltable screen. Very nice for vlogger or selfie style. Not bad for 450 pounds. And my Sony, which is my girlfriend bought me on Christmas Day, and she gave me this for a present, and it's cost almost different with the Sony, with the Canon. The price is not really make big difference. They both the same, 450 as well, with a kit lens 1650 millimeter. Well, not bad for these two guys in here. Let's move on to the video movie setting. Like I said, if you set both of them to the movie or a video and then set in auto ISO, autofocus things, and they are can take a HD video with a 1080 60 frames per second or 1080 30 frames per second. So we haven't got any argument for that, guys. So they're both the same. About the weight, they are almost the same. The Sony A6000 weighing 12.1 ounces. It's about 344 grams with a kit lens. Not bad, not really heavy. That's why it's they call compact camera. So it's really compact, it's really light, and it's really usable, really friendly. While the Canon Eos M3 is 12.9 ounces, which is 366 grams. So it's about 20 grams difference. Not bad for these two guys. And let's talk about the battery life of these two guys in here. The Sony A6000, the battery life or the battery can shoot 360 shots or 400, something like that. 360 to 400 shots, the Sony A6000 battery life. While the Canon EOS M3, they can shoot a 260 shoot continuously. So the winner again is the Sony A6000. We got loads of points in the Sony A6000, but most of people use Canon. I love Canon. I love Sony as well, but because my Sony is a bit new, so I have to explore more, you know. Let's go to the downside of these two guys in here. The downside of the Sony, the downside of the Sony is the screen. I'm not sure if the people who do blog, they pick Sony because the screen. Most of the people who do blog, they like the 180 tiltable screen, like the Canon. So the winner for these things is the Canon. This is the downside of the Sony A6000, which is loads of things that you gonna be like in the Sony A6000, but the problem is the screen, just only 90 degrees, so you can't see yourself while you're doing video or do vlogs, so you don't know if you are in focus or not. So the winner of the screen again is the Canon EOS M3 because of the 180 tiltable screen and the touch screen as well. That's the best thing for the Canon. And another downside for the Sony A6000, it's the mic output. You can't use my Rode microphone in the Sony A6000, which is a bit sad, isn't it, guys? Because the Sony 6000 is a good quality camera, the video is a good quality, but let's talk about the audio. The audio of the Sony A6000 without an external camera, I don't know yet. You let me know, guys. The people who use Sony A6000 with a external mic, the people who buy an external mic for the Sony, I don't know. I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna buy an external mic for the Sony. Because like I said, I can't use my Rode micro to Sony because there's no mic output. While in the Canon EOS M3, there is a mic output, which is very good as well to people who do video, especially do blogging. You got 180 tiltable screen, and you got mic output as well. So that is the good things in the Canon. and the downside in the Sony A6000, the mic output. I wish Sony company they make another like a beginner camera like Sony A6000 with a mic output. I think that's the best thing if they make another new camera coming out maybe this year with the mic output. It's really helpful to the people, because if you're gonna buy a separate mic for the Sony A6000, which is £100 just for the mic, but the good things, when you attach your mic in the Sony, you don't need any wires. Just the mic is connected. There's some connection in the hot shoe of the Sony A6000, so you don't need any wires going to your. That's why I think they build this mic without any mic output things. But it's a lot of money just to buy a mic for the Sony A6000. And in the Canon Eos M3, you can buy any kind different of mic, whatever Rode, any different kind of mic you can attach in the Canon Eos M3. So that's the good things for the Sony, so that is the good things for the Canon, because you can use different kind of mic. The downside in the Sony is you can't use any kinds different of mic like what I've got in here, a Rode Micro. I can't use it in my Sony. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoy my review on my two guys in here. So like I said, guys, if you enjoy my video, you can give me a thumbs up and leave the comment down below, guys, please, if you have any question or if you want to add something about these two guys. So leave the comment down below and I will answer you as soon as I get. And please don't forget to subscribe on my video, guys. Very appreciate that. And to the people who are new in my video watching now, please subscribe, and I'm very appreciated. So there you go, guys. That's for now, and see you in my next video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.